Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to the Type 10 whatever, review. This is the Tier 10 Ultimate Battle Reward vehicle for the Battle Path thing. Quick current note, this vehicle has non-explosive reactive armor, or whatever it's supposed to be called, which means this thing's armor degrades based on panels. So if you shoot here, that place will degrade until eventually it becomes tier 7 or something. So repeated fire will down this tank. It has a 4-clip ready rack / ammo rack. Okay. It has extremely good camouflage, and it is possibly the most agile vehicle in tier 10 aside from the Object 640. So let's view this vehicle's modules quickly. I believe it comes fully upgraded, so we get wonderful things like a stage 2 kit, cooling system, enemy thermal sight's effectiveness is reduced with better camo, gunner optics, a thermal imager, you're good, and a magazine autoloader, which means that when your ready rack / autoloader is full, you can instantly swap between different ammo types. Aside from that, it has a soft kill APS but not a hard kill, and a maintenance kit. Protection wise, this vehicle is actually pretty damn decent. The lower plate is 770mm thick, the lower plate is 660, which means tier 8s and tier 9s will go through you, but this vehicle does get hydromatic suspension and is relatively agile, so if you do get hit by them repeated times, it's probably going to be your fault. Standard MBT armor, apart from this hilariously weird angle here, is that this is all 700mm thick for the turret, which means that all the cannons will not go through, but remember that is ERA. And the sides are sides basically. However, given the fact this is the lightest MBT in tier 10 means that vehicles will butter your sides, so especially those mud flaps right there. So to play a Type 10, it is very powerful, but it's not moron proof like the Object 490 and the Cat B, which is the reason why you will probably see those certain platoons such as Panzer and the other ones playing Cat Bs and 490s probably instead of a bunch of Type 10s, because, well, as we all know exactly what kind of players those vehicles cater towards. Aside from that, let's break down into the vehicle stats quite quickly. 825 pen, 504 to 616 damage. Not really that great. Heat MP rounds, which are very good, in the sense of the fact you have 4 of them, you can fire them very quickly, that's the reason why they work. Reload within magazine is 2 seconds, for 2 second cycle time. With the breach, we're looking at about 1.7, and the total magazine time will be about 12 seconds if you fire them all off at once. Apart from that, the vehicle, for all intents and purposes, has about 20 RPM, so 3-second reload is absolutely mental. Aside from that, the vehicle's mobility, fuck it, let's just compare them all at the same time. Give me a second here. Right, so let's compare the Type 10, the T14, the 640, the 4M, the K2, the Alt-A, and the X1A3 with the 120mm gun. Which I wish we could actually change vehicle stats in the right. So as you can see here, the Type 10's gun is relatively poor compared to the rest. 560 damage is only slightly more than the Merkava 4M and trails behind 640, the K2, the Alt-A, and the X1A3. In fact, we could probably just remove the 640 actually. There we go. Aside from that, it does have very high penetration. Only slightly worse than T14 Armada and comes behind the 4M and the X01A3. It also has the highest DPM in Tier 10, skyrocketing above the X01A3, the K2, 4M, Yolte, blah blah blah, and the Clerk T4. However, its hit points are absolutely shite, 3000 start, and of course you also have the problems with the lower plate and everything. Aside from that, this vehicle is very, very, very quick. Only slightly slower than the K2 and the Yolte with a hybrid engine. Much faster than the Armada, and the X01A3 and the 4M are sluggish in comparison. It's also the lightest as well, so please don't ram. And its camouflage is absolutely crazy as well, 30% camouflaged, 38% while moving, and also very high view range as well if you go by my build. My build specifically is built to taking place. There are a couple of commanders you can take with this vehicle. If you want to do a complete main build as seen with Aaron, you will get 50% camo while stopped. And about 20ish, but about 27% while moving. For the Type 74 playstyle, you can continue from Tier 5, you can definitely do that. But aside from that, the vehicle does have some pretty decent values even when moving. Generally speaking, I would vote for taking Vincent or Douglas. They are the usual commanders, or you could always take Cortez for the maximum damage. You've been enough to my reviews at this point. You know exactly what those recommended builders are. I don't have to tell you 400 times like Quickie Baby does. You're not fucking stupid. Aside from that, the usual things: supply surplus, part crates, first aid cabinet, and an improved fire extinguisher. I say an improved fire extinguisher because my tank gets hit in the engine a lot for some reason. I don't know how, but I take a suspicious amount of engine hits, so probably want to take that. The usual cruise skills apply: acceleration off on road for the quick, and for the gunner, accuracy decay while firing. This thing has a very fast reload, so might as well take that. Aside from that, paint for the glorious paint, brow lining, and augmented optics and telescopic lenses for a grand total of 565 meters while stopped, 495 while moving. And if you want to take off either the gun breech or that, you should be able to get your vehicle to about 90% spotting through foliage, and have your enemies decreased as well, to the point of which your cooling system will negate their thermal sights. So that's okay. Generally speaking, this vehicle's playstyle is light and quick. It's not really suited to a stand-up fight that much, as it will get buttered by shots, so you have that to decide. Aside from that, we have a couple of games, so I believe we've got everything sorted, so let's jump right in. So, I am platooned with my very good friend Tank Sniper, wonderful man, who is using a non-Japanese flag. We are fighting a pair of K2s on the other team. We have a platoon of Tier 8s, but for all intents and purposes they are not going to be very useful in a Tier 10 game. There is a couple of Tier 9s scattered around, and this is actually my first game in the Type 10. As you can see here, I am not using Erin, but still 16% camo while moving. Not terrible. Tank Sniper over there is using the hydromatic suspension. In fact, for the most intents and purposes, you want to be using the hydromatic suspension most of the time in the down position, as it covers your lower plate, which is always a good thing. And those Black Panthers are over there, and they've hit Tank about once or twice. But aside from that, he should be relatively fine. Still a couple of things moving around for now. Lost Island. It is Lost Island. No, it's Tropical Coast. Feels more like an island, to be honest. Bunch of enemies still running around. Remember, if I was in a Cat B, every single shot frontally at me would have missed. And if I was a 490, every single shot fired at me would have just bounced anyway, so, you know. Oh boy, remember us about that ready rack? Bye, Will. This thing's gun is insane. And it gets the benefit of the individual shell partial reload of a ready rack and the full auto load of a autoloader. So essentially the Japanese get the best of both worlds. I was hoping to see some tentacles somewhere, but oh well. We're finding the K2 over there, and this TTB is about to get massacred. TTP does do 600 to me. Obviously wouldn't have happened in a Cat B or a 490, maybe in a K2 as well. But alas, that is 2,100 damage done to a TTB, while he did one to me in return. I fired off my entire Reddit rack before he could do anything in return, really. Now, still for the most part, there's still a couple of enemies over there, and there is going to be an enemy that is abusing a bug in the map. Oh look, there's a Black Panther. Let me just reload my gun in 3 seconds. And done. And this Black Panther is going to pick a fight with me. Remember, even if the Black Panther is using the auto-loader build that I showed before. 1, 2, 3, 4. I fired 2 shots. He fired... In the entire time it took him to fire 2 shots, I managed to lob 4 at him. It's beautiful, isn't it? But yeah, so far I've been penned by a TMS frontally. Heat rounds don't really do much to this thing frontally. He shot me in the side with that heat round, by the way, but if he'd been firing AP, he would have been able to go through the lower plate, as seen right there. So when using a TTB, you do have to keep in mind. Oh look, there's a Black Panther. Hi Black Panther! Hi TTB! So far they have been doing a happy amount of bounces today. In terms of hit points, things aren't going relatively too good today. Oh no, wait, the Cornet is another game. There was a Cornet who managed to be in like this position over here, and he basically just fired down and used a bug to get up there. But yeah, that's 7,825 damage done. That's a lot of damage. And you saw how easy it was. Unlike in a single shot tank, which would have taken 20 seconds, this thing could do it in 5. So for having that relatively weak armor and a low amount of hit points, you do gain the ability to absolutely fuck someone's day up with lots of big tentacles. Aside from that, this game is basically over for now, so let's have a look at those post-game stats. And a grand total of 8,898 damage done. And I'll tell you what, doing damage with this thing is quite easy. It reminds me of when I used the MGM and the Cat B for the first time, as well as the Humvee. Doing damage, if you know what you're doing, is relatively easy. Also 500 done to that Cat B. But you can see there, 4th in the team. I did the highest overall, but some members of my team got more kills or did more spotting. But a difference of what, 50 XP? Nothing. Total amount of potential damage done would have been 9,400, with 2,900 damage mitigated. So let's have a look at another game then, shall we?
Donk is good.
It is good, but
its damage is better than most in the tier, but its armor, no. Again, very specific spots. You're not going to find them that often.
I mean, for gun-wise, I'd take a Magak or a 2A or a 2AV over it. The missiles are nice, but they're iffy.
But there's better missile slinger. There's better missile slingers.
What commander are you
better
taking?
Utility.
Freya, right?
Hell, even a gun-launched missile's better.
Mm-hmm.
This might be painful.
Definitely, because now we're... This thing's main strength is not being in the stand-up fight. I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
In a prolonged fight, this thing's armor is not good. I would say that honestly, we're better off sniping.
We're gonna have to.
Honestly,
it's gonna be retarded, but we're better off sitting.
If we can provide a ridiculous amount of support fire, we might be able to pull this off.
So long as we have enough people in the back. I've had a couple of battles today where we lost, even though we won the castle, because like one guy got behind us.
Yeah, and if they do push up, we can get them. We can just simply reposition. This is hyper-mobile.
As it should be. If there's only that Leclerc over there, then I think we should turn around.
I mean, the majority of our MBTs are coming up, and there's a 640. I got spotted briefly. Fucking hell. Like, even in downward suspension, this thing is still really quick.
Yeah.
We need to focus fire these guys as fast as we can.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
ooh,
fuck.
that is a bunch.
It's not that many. It's a tier.
And a cat tab.
Yeah, but I got tracked.
We thought he was still tracked, so everyone just shot at him. Okay, they're both retreated. That now makes me suspiciously paranoid to where all their focus. AGGS! Back up.
I see it.
Load in
So
heat.
I'm turning.
Oof. Honestly, he would have been better off firing the missiles.
He would have.
Like, did you see how quickly we butchered him? Like, in the moment, just immediately switched to heat, and then just bam.
Well, I didn't switch to heat. I
did.
kept my normal ammo.
Tank!
Sorry. There's a fucking cat tab behind me that's ramming me, that's why. Because Russians.
Yeah, we know what they're like.
They have that flank. I think I'm gonna back up and try to stop them from going through our base.
We could do that, actually.
Because it looks like there's tier 8s and a tier 9 trying to do that.
We can
This
put the
thing's
stop
quick
to them
enough
really
to
quickly.
Yeah, this thing's quick
Yeah,
enough to
I'm coming.
reposition, and then we can go and deal with it.
29% more camo moving. Ooh. I do not think this should get a stealth tank virtue.
Yeah.
Did you get spotted as well?
No.
Okay.
Not yet, anyway. This also has 2 smoke grenades, because it's a light tank, which is...
Because light tank.
These guys aren't expecting this.
No, they're not.
I just don't know where the fuck AS-21 is.
Yeah. Because that thing's fucking javelins will put a dent.
They will actually go through.
Because, yeah, javelins.
Very few vehicles that they actually seem to go through for me. What hit you? Oh, wait, no,
Nothing.
never mind, nothing did.
Sardi. That's where we're going, dude. We could push.
Yeah, let's, Oh, Haramo. Hi, Mr. Haramo.
Hold up.
And, of course, 9 EMS went through. And I got a cat tab on the flank, of course.
Wait.
Why is it every freaking battle I manage to just get the worst fucking RNG on my
I
side?
don't know.
You can actually go through the top, you can actually go through the upper plate of the T9 EMS
Really?
with this. Yeah. There's the red back if you want to. You might be able to actually push that.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm reloading.
Hi, Redback.
Yep.
Armor's
There's the
down
Haramo.
there. How is that guy's losing in the center? Like, how?
I don't know how they are or why they did, but they did.
I could smell that Cent 120 shooting me. Yeah, you go to one side and the other side fucking collapses.
I know.
We can take these guys apart, but it's going to take time. Time that I don't think our team has.
Time I don't think we have.
19 Mess is dead. Let's see if I can blap him. Bonk. Getting shot at. Griffin's shooting me.
That cat tab dead to fucking rights, and it bounced as it was going backwards. Fuck
the Sen 120 and the Griffin 50mm are still the base.
Alright.
So for all intents and purposes, they're still relatively non-issues at this point.
Both cat tabs are on the way.
Okay.
Fuck.
Joy.
I had such horrible RNG against them when they were rushing across.
They're gonna go for the other cat tab in the center, aren't they? Do we wanna...
I don't know. Oh, wait, whoa, where are they going? Where are they going? Up the road, up the road. There goes one.
Shit.
There's the other. Damn it, I could have fucking killed that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hang on, he's turning around, he's turning around, he's turning around. Might actually have a chance to fucking put rounds in him as he goes up that ridge.
Alright.
Never mind. There's just not much It just sucks, because I figured they could hold the line, but nope.
Nope, they die.
And before I could react, I didn't even know where it was.
Cat tab's armor is still down.
Cat tab is still broken.
Yeah.
They didn't fix the one thing that was the problem, the engine and the gun. They figured nerfing the pen was what would fix it. That's not the problem. It was never the problem. Nothing we tried. Like, there just wasn't a direction we could go. Like, no matter where we went, it just wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have just killed the Griffin just to be that guy, but
Honestly, I thought that shot would have killed him. That's why I reloaded. I was 90% sure it would have just gonna slap him right there on that. Thank you, Beha, for subscribing. Have I seen another bug position on reactor? I have not. Okay, I think that's probably done. So 9k again.
yeah. Well,
so one of the other amusing little things about the Type 10 is how fast it can go. It can get in reverse. Just sit back, poke your eye on the left side of the meters of the metric system, a very civilized system, and see how far we can go backwards. We're up to 56. Ooh. Ooh, we're at 65 now. 70. 78. This vehicle goes as fast in reverse as it does forwards, which means you are able to happily murder everyone you see. Unfortunately, you can't exactly go straight into the enemy like that. As amusing as it would be, they would just load heat rounds and dunk them right into your ass. Oh hey, there's an AS-21 over there. I really don't know how that was such a good idea, to be honest. Cat B, bunch of people. That Cat B basically sits there for the rest of the game. It was a really good play, but honestly our team, especially that 640, should have been able to swarm him. Still, there's always enemies lying around, and that doesn't mean we can't shoot them, which I think we should do. So once again, I'm here with Tank Sniper, and I have many hit points. In fact, I don't even know what command I'm using at this point. I think I'm using Vincent again. Tank Sniper is going to take the low road, and I'm going to take the high road on this one. We're both using roughly the same playstyle, so we should be able to Unfortunately, the camera is bugged this time again, so can't look on it, can't see what I'm aiming at. And there's someone who decided to put artillery into the game. Kind of wanted to shoot them with the machine gun, to be honest. Still, no enemies found yet, so we know there's an Armada 152 lying around, so probably shoot at him. There's one, there's two, doesn't pan, 3, and I miss. But that's still 1700 damage done there, and almost reloaded. And that's another 4 shots, with a 11.5 second reload time. Sorry, it should be 11 point. Well, it's literally 12 seconds, honestly. I really don't think the 0.10th of a second faster makes any difference, to be honest. T14 Armada is still over there. Honestly, I should have been more aggressive in confronting him. Maybe shoot him a few times or something, put the hydromax suspension down and just gone for it. The most this guy can hit me for is 1,000. And I'll be able to kill him regardless, and there is now a Terminator. Guy hit me for 1.5k, come on. The fact that I actually only realised how strong the side turret armor on this thing was when I was doing armor inspector. In fact, that Terminator would have been able to pen me at all with his thing, with his auto cannon. K2 Black Panther over there, the Clerk T4. I believe these are the same guys as before. Unfortunately, I can't really shoot them at the moment. There's a Thunderbolt. Kind of unsure how we're going to kill him. Honestly, the Type 10, it has about 40-ish rounds, but the problem is that it can and will run out of them quite quickly. Relatively fast-firing ready rack there. And I'm using Heat MP this time. Honestly, I should have stayed to fire and kill him. The Thunderbolt would have been able to do 600 damage to me maybe, and I would have succeeded in getting rid of the Armada. Armada's backed off now. This is definitely a problem of mine, is that I should have simply gone straight for that Terminator. Thunderbolt, sorry. But now there's enemies! Again. Tank Sniper is unfortunately dead, killed by the 2AX, and that Cat B is still running around. Which is pretty damn annoying. It's Messi in his T4. Panzer player not doing something other than a seal clubbing tank for once is actually quite weird. Regardless of that, Black Panther over there this time, and I don't think I'm going to be able to hit him. Honestly. And as you can see there, he should have died, but that is the fault of mine. This tank is very accurate as well. In fact, it's more accurate than 2AX, the railgun tank. And some unfortunate misses into the dirt. Obviously, if I'd have used Frey, I would have been able to hit him, but as you understand, using Frey isn't always the best idea for tier 10. More hit points or more reload would have been necessary, and this thing is accurate enough. Those kind of misses on a K2 like that is, well, it's not really. It doesn't happen that much. This is probably the only time in about the 15 or so games I've played in this that I've actually had that many misses. Still, we have Captain Poland and the AGGS over there spotting the K2s. We do need to get rid of them though. Captain Poland will be able to probably handle about one of them. And it was at this point I realised I probably should have loaded Heat MP or something. 1, 2. Still, that's still 1100 damage done. It's not terrible. Where are they? There's still one left. This game does have the same issues, but at the very least the instant swap time with the Heat MP is always fun, and straight through the turret. And as you can see there, if I hadn't reloaded, probably been able to kill him. So yeah, got that to deal with. This time, however, there's only one K2 left, so it is about time that I should probably move out. Still relatively paranoid about enemies coming around. I honestly don't understand why they haven't. They're not going to get spotted. That Thunderbolt and that 2EX should be able to. No kill on the K2 yet, but he is basically a one hit for the ATGS's missiles. One heat MP hit. The ATGS comes with heat MP missiles, so one MP hit would have just killed him. We're on AP now. Obviously. No enemy spotted yet, and it's at this point is that I should have known they'd be coming for me, maybe? No. But alas, I still thought that 2EX was over there, and in fact, what he did was double back. Single hit by the Thunderbolt, back up, and go for a hold down position or something. That TTB, is that 640? That 640 chassis looks quite nice. TTB over there. Just got to figure out what the rest of them are now. 2EX. Initially I did think that I'd been able to kill the K2, but the K2's dead now. So, alas, I think I can actually handle them here. I just have to be very, very cautious about how I play this. Always go for the 2EX first. He's got the most dangerous gun out of all of them. 1, 2. Probably best to reload now. Mortars will slowly blink on that TTB, but they're not going to kill him. I have to be the one to. And the 2EX has made the very unfortunate mistake of actually going for me. And a pen in the engine deck finishes him off. Remember, if an MBT is angled like that towards you, don't bother trying to shoot the low plate if it's covered or go for the turret ring. Just go straight for the engine deck. Now the reason I'm not moving up, even though it's just a Thunderbolt over there, is because of this thing's lower plate, which a Thunderbolt will go through. So you always have to keep that in mind with this. I'm not bringing myself to a stand-up fight. Back off, go into cover, get your ready rack going, do it again. It's kind of the same playstyle you would use with a Cat B, except the Cat B is basically retard proof. You can smash your head on the keyboard and just have amazing games of it. Not so much in a Type 10. And he did bounce some. At this point, however, I'm just going to simply go all the way down and go straight for them. Come on. Come on. Keep going. GTS over there. The guy does seem to be very trigger happy, really, considering that Cat B would have been able to kill him in literally 0.5 of a second. But the enemies have chosen a very interesting defensive position. Instead of just moving, and the Cat B loaded heat MP for him. It's time for both. Let's just go straight for the Cat B then. Hi Cat B. 1. And he's dead. Still, 8.9k is actually really good. Honestly, it's the kind of game that when you get into a standoff like that, well, not really standoff, but the biggest thing is that this is kind of played like a French heavy tank in auto tanks. You know, the ones with the auto loaders or like stuff like the bat chat, is that you need to wait for the right opportunity to be able to unleash a ready rack on enemy really quickly. A good time in waiting until the end of the match. It always works. Unfortunately, I did get really good games, but at the same time I did get really bad games in the Type 10. The vehicle does tend to have issues like any other vehicle of tier 10, in which during blowouts you're never going to do 10,000 damage in a blowout. You're going to die really quickly, and unfortunately that is kind of the thing. But overall, this is a very, very strong tier 10. So, yeah, as you can see here, a bunch of blowouts, 335 damage done. That wasn't actually my fault, but overall, I think about 5,000 damage is probably going to be the norm we're going to be able to expect when it comes to this kind of tank. Also, the Salzburg game was pretty good as well, unfortunately a loss. A total of 8.5k damage done, second on the team. AS21 did a really good job as well as Captain Hartland, who cleaned up at the end there. A total of potential damage of 13,000 damage. I mean, honestly, I don't think that would have been achieved. 7k damage blocked, and I did that with Douglas. For the Salzburg game, 1.2 million again, 9,000 damage done, top of the team. Aaron O'Connell that time, 12,000 damage, 6,300 blocked. So the overall impressions of this tank is that it's not stupid proof, but it is extremely powerful. It is basically a better K2 Black Panther. The K2, well, let me explain what I mean. So the K2 has the autoloader, like this does. It has a very fast reload time, like this does. It has a very good setup. But where they differ is that the K2 is more agile significantly, as it has the hybrid engine. The K2 has better kinetic resistance in terms of the fact 60%, 830, and that there, but its missile protection is significantly worse. So where they differ in that the Cornet will basically butter a K2, you can see there, and against a Type 10 the differences are significant enough. Quickly load the K2's gun. The K2 guns against the Black Panther. Type 10 has worse kinetic resistance, but I do believe that it's actually slightly harder to pen with a Cornet, as you can see here. So I think the Type 10 is a better PvP tank, and for PvE it's kind of a loss up. The K2 is better in a stand-up fight against MBTs, the Type 10 not so much. So it comes down to personal preference really, but in the end the K2 is a progression tank. This is a premium tank, so obviously where they differ is going to be in that kind of thing. Anyway, for now guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and the Type 10 Hituma, the Type 10 tentacle, there we go, is it has 4 tentacles. So anyway, that's it for now guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, etc, etc, and take care for now, I guess.